Okay, so this particular recipe, I'm actually going to show you in a 5-step method, okay? So I'm gonna lay out this method for you. I'm gonna lay out the 5 steps. That way you have it in the back of your mind and you kind of have it, you'll remember the steps in that way, and then we will work through the recipe together. But you're gonna remember the steps because that's what's gonna help you kind of know how to tweak the recipe and, make whatever changes you want to make, okay? So methods first. Step number 1 in our 5-step technique is saute your dried chilies with your garlic. Okay, so we are using 3 chile chili arbol, and we are using 2 cloves of garlic, okay? So I'm gonna actually just cut each garlic clove in half, just so it cooks a little faster when we are sauteing. Okay, so that would be our step 1. We are going to saute in avocado oil because it's a neutral flavor oil and it also has a high smoke point. And I love avocado oil for things like this. While we're on the topic of oils, I want to encourage you to always consider when you are buying any kind of fat, any kind of oil, cooking fat, cooking oils, make sure that what you're buying comes in a dark glass bottle. That is going to keep it safe from light and, kind of like exposure in that way, and it's going to prevent rancidity, okay? So it's gonna help it from, prevent it from becoming rancid, okay? So dark glass bottle all the time. Got it? All right, we can always talk about this a little bit more as time goes on, but just kind of keep that in the back of your mind when you're choosing your oils. All right, so step 1, again, we're going to saute our dried chilies with our garlic in our oil, our neutral oil, and we will let that saute. While it's sauteing, we'll go into step 2. Step 2 is to chop up all of our fresh ingredients. We have 6 Roma tomatoes here. You can use vine tomatoes, you can use Roma, whatever you want. You can use whatever tomatoes you have, but just keep in mind that certain tomatoes have a bit more water than others. And so this is an example of one that doesn't have a lot of water, right? So Roma tomatoes, we are going to absolutely chop them up as normal, but we're gonna add a little bit of water just because what we need to do in the blender is get things moving, right? That's why we'll add some water. And for this particular recipe, we could do about 1/2 of an onion, 1/4 of an onion, depends on the size of your onion. I just wanna show you, this is about a medium-sized onion, and this is half here. So with this amount of tomatoes, I could probably do this whole onion, even if I especially if I just chop off that ending part pretty nicely. And so I think I might go with this whole half, okay? But it just depends on how you like your flavors balanced. And I kind of like a nice, good oniony flavor coming through, okay? So I'm just gonna take off this last layer just because I used the other half yesterday, so this one's a little dry. So we're just gonna move this to the side and use that in a stock later, but we will cut off the very end and we'll just have it ready to go in some nice big chunks here, just like that. We have our onions and we are going to go ahead and cut our tomatoes. And by all means, you could start your dried chilies and garlic before you chop everything, but I figured we would just chop beforehand so I can walk you through it, okay? You know what? Never mind. Let's get the dried chilies and garlic going because it's not gonna take very long, and then I'm gonna be done here and we're gonna just need to just go. So let's get this going. All right, so we are going to, oh, got that one going. I thought I was gonna have to light it. All right, we're gonna work with the back burner here. This is a nice big pan. I'm gonna throw about a tablespoon of avocado oil in there. Not much, just About a tablespoon will get the job done. I'm gonna put our garlic in the oil and our dried chilies. Remember those three dried chilies there. Okay, so have a little spatula on hand, just because as soon as you start to kind of hear some saute action going on, you're gonna wanna stir it around really nicely, okay? And you're also going to wanna watch your heat. You don't want this smoking away like crazy. We want to keep the heat stable, or else it's gonna create free radicals, which are really harmful for the body. So just remember, anytime you are cooking, control that heat. Control the heat. If you have a gas stove, it's so easy because you could turn your heat up, turn your heat down. If you have an electric stove, then guess what you could do? Move your pan off, move your pan on, okay? To control your heat. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit because I can tell that it's gotten nice and hot already. And I'm gonna let that be, and we'll finish our chopping. So we're gonna chop our tomatoes. All right, and I'm going to get the blender ready. And I like to put the tomatoes in first because once you start to blend, then the tomato is gonna break down and it's going to liquefy it much faster than if you have non-liquidy ingredients at the bottom. So FYI, I like to put tomatoes first. All right, just chopping off the very ends. The butt ends of the tomato is all. Oops. And again, just a quick, big chops there. All right, keep an eye on your dried chilies and garlic. Don't forget them. Move them around. You're gonna start to smell the garlic. Love, love. I'm gonna throw the onions already. We have enough going on here. Okay. So we have our tomatoes and our onion in here. And I have one serrano pepper. Jalapenos or serranos are really great for this, but just keep in mind that serrano peppers are typically about 2 to 4 times the heat, right? So if you're gonna do, and also, as we know, peppers vary in heat regardless. So I'm actually only gonna do half of this serrano, okay? Get this moved around. Ooh, our garlic's looking nice and toasty looking. All right, half of the serrano's going in. I'm gonna move the other one for later. Okay, and then remember, I told you I wanna add a little bit of water because these tomatoes don't have a lot of liquid. So just a nice little pour. Not too much, just a nice, good little pour. And we are finishing up, letting our garlic get nice and golden. Do you see how I've controlled my heat? It's not going all crazy. There's no major smoke action happening. Everything's nicely controlled. All right. Oh, it smells so good. All right, so I have a little bit of cilantro here. You will notice that I have my limes off to the side, and also we now have our cilantro off to the side. Those are actually going to be on the final step because they are going to be the ingredients that brings a really nice, fresh kind of addition to it at the very end. It's gonna pop the flavors and it's just going to bring everything together, as well as some sea salt. All right, our chiles are looking really good. Smell it. Gosh, okay, I'm gonna turn off the heat now. I'm gonna grab a little spoon so I can scoop them out. Well, I'm actually going to just pull these chilies out with my hands because I'm going to cut off the very tops of these chiles, okay? So you can let them cool. Whoop. And I'm going to remove the, I guess I didn't need that spoon, huh? I got this. I'm going to remove the garlic as well. And keep in mind, we're going to use this oil still, so it's not going to go to waste. We are actually going to, I turned off the heat for now, but we are actually going to use this again in step 4. Okay, so where are we at? We did step 1, our sauteed dried chilies with our garlic. That's done. We have step 2, which is chop all the fresh goodies, right? All the tomato, the fresh pepper, and the onions together and put it in your blender with a little bit of water if you need, if your tomatoes are not very watery or juicy. Now, we're gonna add the garlic into the blender. Okay, so I'm gonna chop off the very tops of the dried chiles, and they are going in as well. So we have step 1, step 2 done, and now we get to go on to step 3, which is blend. All right, ready? When your kitchen dance. Okay, don't over blend, okay? You kind of want some chunk, you know? It's like, we like a little chunk here and there with our salsa. So don't ever blend it. But what you're going to see is the salsa actually looks really pinky right now. It looks like a very pink color, and you know, it to be honest, it's not super appetizing at this stage because of the raw aspect, right? Now you could eat it this way. You could add in your lime and your chopped cilantro and everything, and you'd be good to go. But we are gonna go on to our next step, which is saute our blended salsa in our pan. All right, we gotta get this going. I pulled it off the heat because it was getting hot real quick. So again, you get to control the heat, right? If you need to remove that pan, by all means. All right, so this is my favorite part because what's gonna happen is those flavors and all the ingredients are gonna go from that sort of frothy pink color to this deep, rich salsa color that we want, right? So give it a little stir. So this is step 4, which is saute our raw ingredients, okay? While we are doing step 4, we're prepping step 5. We just need to cut our limes in halves and chop up our cilantro so it's ready to go towards the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a really, take off these big parts, a really fine chop. Okay, check on our salsa. I'm gonna turn down the heat just a little bit. Again, listen to the cues. It'll tell you if you need to turn things up, turn things down, but the color is already shifting. All right, we have our cilantro ready to go. We have a half lime here. Let's get another lime and another one because it depends on how juicy your limes are, and I'm not sure that these are super juicy. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 2.5 here. You could probably get away with 1 lime if you have a really nice juicy one. All right, I don't need this water anymore, and I don't need these anymore. All right, so we're gonna wait about 10-15 minutes until the color intensifies, gets nice and deep and, rich colored, but also it's evaporating the excess liquid as well. So it's going to, be a more pleasant texture as well. Looks so yummy. All right, we have lime juice, salt, cilantro. We have finished step 5. I told you, this is why I love teaching methods and techniques versus recipes. Now you know you can saute your dried chilies and your garlic if you're using as your step 1. Chop up all your other fresh veggies, step 2. Step 3 is blend it all together. And then step 4 is saute your tomato mixture. And step 5 is finish it off with all the good flavor pops. This is our salsa. Check it out, baby. Yum, yum, yum. All right, that's it for our Salsa Roja demonstration, class, whatever you want to call this. I don't know what you want to call this. What do we want to call this? Let me know. All right, I'll see you soon.